I mean, do you know how hard it is every day? He who must not be named. They can't even say my name. And it's always, where is the Dark Lord? What is the Dark Lord doing? Not, how is the Dark Lord? It's hurtful. Truly, to be honest, it's hurtful. No one cares about Voldy.
Do I have to hug you again?
Alright, I am going to show you how you can make a cupcake that will show what house you are in. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this. You could do this so that it is a surprise and so that you don't know what house is going to be inside. Today I'm going to be doing it so that we do know what's inside, but you could easily change that so that it is a complete surprise, so it's more like a sorting cupcake. So the first thing you just need a cupcake, and then I want you to go ahead and cut out a plug from the top. Don't eat this plug, you're still going to need it later. So we're just going to pull it out, and I will just temporarily put it on this bag right here. Alright, so now I have a hole in the middle of my cupcake. And you could fill this with all sorts of different things. You could fill this with some kind of jam or jelly. You could fill this with different icing colors. But I decided I was going to fill mine with M&Ms today. So I'm going to be making a Ravenclaw cupcake. So I'm going to be putting in just a whole bunch of blue M&Ms. We'll just put them in there. You can kind of shove them in a little bit. You can make a bigger hole if you want. Alright. So I filled it full of blue M&Ms. I'm probably going to actually have to chop off the bottom part of this, but I want to save this because I still want to be able to put it back on top so that you don't necessarily know that there are M&Ms inside of our cupcake. And once we frost it, you really won't be able to tell. So that is the first step. Fill your cupcake with whatever you want to fill it with. Again, you can fill it with jams or candies or frosting, colored frosting, it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to set that aside for just a minute. I am going to be using today a nice big 1M star tip for our frosting, but you can do this with just a bag. If you don't have any of the piping tools, you can just use a regular plastic bag and just snip off the corner. It won't be quite as fancy, but it will still look really good. So, in order to do this, I wanted to make my frosting to have different colors. I want it to be mostly white, but since I am doing a Ravenclaw cupcake, I wanted it to have some blue stripes in there to show Ravenclaw. So I have some blue food coloring, and this stuff is actually super concentrated. I don't need much of it, and I have a paintbrush. This is a clean paintbrush that I only use for baking. I don't use it for painting at any point in time, it's just for baking. And I'm going to kind of fold down the top of my bag here. And I'm going to use my paintbrush. I'm going to dip it in. I put a little bit of blue food coloring here. I'm going to dip it in. And then I'm going to actually just paint some blue stripes on the inside of my piping bag. I think I'll do maybe 4 of them. Kind of do the 4 sides. And let's see, I need one more. Let's do this corner too. Alright, it doesn't take much. You don't need a whole lot, although I do think I want a little bit more on this one. Alright, now we're going to move that out of the way. And now I'm going to carefully put my frosting inside my bag. So I'm going to spoon it out. I'm going to kind of hold it up here, and I'm going to drop that frosting in carefully. And because I am using such a big tip, I'm going to have to use a lot of frosting for it, which wouldn't be a problem if I was making more cupcakes. So we'll just have to use a lot for today. Group it where it's not on the blue. And I think I want a little bit more. right. So now my bag is full, and now we're going to go ahead and pipe it onto our cupcake. After I get the icing off my hands, that is. Alright, now we're going to kind of shake that icing down. I'm going to close up the top. We're going to squeeze it down. And then I'm going to wait. Now you'll see there's the blue lines, but that blue is not going to come out right away. So I'm actually going to, back on my bag I was doing earlier, I'm going to squeeze it out a little bit until we start to notice the blue coming through. Now that my frosting is going and showing up blue on where I was testing it, I can go ahead and pipe that onto my cupcake. So I'm going to kind of start in the middle and swirl it out and swirl it up. And you see that it gets that blue pattern in it, so you can see that this is a Ravenclaw cupcake. And you could easily change the colors so that it was red and gold for Gryffindor or black and green for Slytherin. You could use not white icing. You could use a blue icing and put black stripes on it. So you have lots of different options for different ways that you can show your Ravenclaw or Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin colors in your cupcake. And now the fun thing is, when you were to cut into this, you will find, if we cut into it, I'm going to kind of open the cupcake wrapper. And then because we filled it, when I cut into it, it has those M&Ms inside just to keep showing what it will look like. And again, that could be something else. If you fill it with a colored jam or something, it will do the same thing. So I hope you enjoy making these cupcakes, and I'd love to see pictures of your results. Thanks!